the men's Royal Rumble match is one of the most highly anticipated Royal Rumble matches in a long time, and that is because it is very hard to predict who's going to win or to see who is going to win this match. And this is one of the most stacked Royal Rumbles of all time. There's a lot of there's Hall of Famers in here. There is world championships on world championships in this Rumble, and I really think it's between four guys, and those guys are John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. I think there's a world where you could pitch each one of these guys winning the Royal Rumble. Let me just say this, I don't think John Cena is going to win because I think John Cena's already kind of hinted at the Elimination Chamber. I think we will see John Cena at the Elimination Chamber. And I don't think there's any way we can get John Cena at the Elimination Chamber if he wins the Royal Rumble. I think we're going to tell this story with John Cena of him coming so close but yet so far. And it's going to be one last never give up, never back down story from John Cena where he used to pitch all the way back in the day. So I think which will ultimately lead to his 17th World Championship. So I think we will get the World Championship run for John Cena at the end of this farewell tour, probably closer to SummerSlam, and not in the beginning of this farewell tour here, and especially because we haven't had him at all to the lead up. Now, this is being recorded before Friday Night SmackDown. He might show up there. I doubt it. But we haven't seen him at all to the lead up of this Royal Rumble, which makes me think he's kind of in the backdoor window here looking out for and will not win this match, although I think he will be far in and probably will get into the Final Four. CM Punk, I think, is the most likely winner. Even though John Cena is plus 150, the favorite, CM Punk's second odds at plus 175 you can get at Bovada right now. I think CM Punk is the most likely outcome, and it's because he has a favor with Paul Heyman. I don't know what that favor is. I think there's two ways you can book this favor, and I think there's one way that will happen and one way I think is the best thing if it happens. What I think will happen is he cashes in this favor at the Royal Rumble and ultimately ends up winning the Royal Rumble. I think WWE is going to have him win the Royal Rumble, keep him on ice till WrestleMania, and ultimately make sure he doesn't get hurt until then. They're going to put him in bubble wrap, so to say. The problem is it's a hard time picking out who's going to be fighting who at the WrestleMania. Which match matches up with which. It's very hard to predict that right now. What if CM Punk uses his favor after the Royal Rumble? And I think this is the story I want to see told. What if he loses the Royal Rumble and uses his favor in such a heel way to backdoor sneak into the main event of WrestleMania? And I think the only way that works is if a guy named Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble, because then CM Punk can backdoor sneak his way into Seth Rollins' main event of WrestleMania. I think that's a way we can get a Gunther versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania Night 1 main event. I think that could be a very likely play here. And Seth Rollins was 25-1 a couple weeks ago. He went all the way up to like 1.25 to 1 plus 125. Now I think he's around plus 200. I think on one book he's minus to win it all. I see a lot of people counting Seth Rollins out. I think Seth Rollins could win this Royal Rumble if we want to tell the story of CM Punk slyly coming into his match at WrestleMania, which I think is really, really possible of an outcome to happen. That's the outcome I want to see. I don't know if that happens, but that is the outcome I want to see, rather than just CM Punk cashing in a favor and winning the Royal Rumble. Now, we still have Roman Reigns in this match. And out of all these guys, Roman Reigns is the hardest match to predict of where he's going in WrestleMania. I don't know what the match is here for WrestleMania. Obviously, it's not going to be The Rock. We are not going to get a rematch with Solo Sikoa, most likely. So who is the guy that Roman Reigns will face at WrestleMania? I think they're trying to test the waters with a Drew McIntyre right now, but I don't know if anyone wants to see that. I don't know, with Drew McIntyre picking up losses against Jey Uso, I don't think that match really makes sense for Drew McIntyre to have a match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So the question is, what is the match for Roman Reigns? And I think the only answer is Jacob Fatu. And I think we might see a Jacob Fatu be the one to eliminate Roman Reigns, which maybe sparks the rivalry or the match or the feud between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, which will lead to a WrestleMania match. Maybe not in the main event, but just a good mid-card WrestleMania match. And I think a lot of people will want to see. I think that can make sense. Who will face Cody Rhodes then? I don't know. I guess John Cena. I don't know if that makes sense either. Maybe the main event will be Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. I think that can make a lot of sense. We can do something else with Gunther, and I think we'll get John Cena versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I think Logan Paul could be the one that screws John Cena at the Elimination Chamber. I think that could make a lot of sense. Now, my Final Four is going to be Jacob Fatu, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and John Cena. That is going to be my Final Four. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Roman Reigns instead of Jacob Fatu. That can make sense. I think that's like just the four biggest names. I feel like it's never just the four biggest names because I think one of them gets thrown out early to build a feud for WrestleMania. And I think that's ultimately what's going to happen with Roman Reigns here. You could easily plug in a Drew McIntyre into this Final Four. Ultimately, I think CM Punk's going to win. I want Seth Rollins to win to build this other storyline with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Any surprise returns? I'm going to go over my 30 men that I think will be in the match. We have 15 confirmed entrants already. That includes LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, Chad Gable, Braun Baker, and Carmelo Hayes. That is the 15. Now I have 10 more guys that are on the roster I think are going to be in this match. That's Andrade, Dom Mysterio, The Miz, because he's kind of like Natalya, probably in the contract he has to be in the match. Jimmy Uso, Damian Priest, who probably will confirm that he's in the match this Friday night on SmackDown. Karrion Kross, Sheamus, Ludwig Kaiser, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. Because I think if Jacob Fatu's in the match, I think Tonga has to be in the match. That leads 5 spots. Now, there's 2 surprises that I can almost confirm will be in this match, and that is Joe Hendry walking in as the TNA World Championship. Everyone's saying, I believe in Joe Hendry. That is going to happen at this match. I also think we are going to get Trick Williams, and we are going to get a stare down between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. I think this is a future United States Championship type feud. I think we might pull the trigger and get Carmelo Hayes the United States Championship at WrestleMania, maybe in a ladder match. I think that can make sense. Ultimately, I think we'll see Trick Williams. Everyone will be screaming, whoop that trip. I think that makes all the sense in the world. We have 3 spots left. And you notice I don't have Finn Balor in this because we haven't seen Finn Balor. There's a real chance here these two out of these 3 spots are Finn Balor and Carlito. At least one of them might be Carlito. I think that very well is a possibility here and might happen. If it's Finn Balor and Carlito, we have 1 spot left. And this is where we see maybe a returning Solo Sikoa, maybe a returning Randy Orton, maybe a returning AJ Styles, or we can get a little fun with it and we see a returning Aleister Black from free agency, Dolph Ziggler from TNA, Matt Cardona from the indie scene, or Jeff Hardy, which is the guy I want to be in this Royal Rumble. I think that's a cheap, easy pop that WWE can do. I just don't know if they'll pull that trigger. Very interesting. A lot of guys that can return. I think there's about 3 spots in there of randoms. I don't know what could happen, but hopefully it's not Carlito. I think Finn Balor will be okay, so maybe we get 2. Maybe we'll get a legend. That's always possible. Maybe a JBL. He's been active around the whole spot. Maybe a Pat McAfee. Maybe a Corey Graves. And that'll set up the Pat McAfee-Corey Graves match at the Royal Rumble. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. Ultimately, my name's Josh Wissey. I think CM Punk wins. I want Seth Rollins to win. I don't think there's any chance John Cena wins. Ultimately, my name's Josh Wissey. If you like WWE, you like sports in general, I promise this is the channel for you. So click that subscribe button. Should be a little icon somewhere down here in the corner. Go watch these videos that YouTube recommends. It's probably all my predictions for all the WWE matches happening at the Royal Rumble. Just click on the playlist. It has all of them there. It has all my WWE videos I've ever made. Thank you guys for 200 subscribers. Let's push to 250. That was always a goal of mine. My name's Josh Wilson. Thank you.